This is the rest. Okay, let's just flow. So we have like a mother, so that would be Casey's mama right there. It's a slim in nature, but she don't have to be slim. She don't have to have brown hair either, but it's just a description of a mother, so it got to be his mommy. Okay, so we have right here that either Casey had to dig deep and ask herself why he settled for certain things, or this officer was digging deep and saw that he wasn't going to settle for certain things, anything like that. Okay, so we have right here that the officer was blaming things when he was adopted. He was trained. If he wasn't adopted, real adoption by another mother, by another parent, anything like that, he was blaming things on he was trained, because he is an officer, right? So yeah, adoption can sometimes be a monster. It created a monster in this person, Mr. Meade, to mow down Casey. I don't even know. He was in the army. He was in the army some kind of way. So I don't even know if he killed anybody in the army. I don't know. But he murdered Casey Goodman Jr. right there on the spot. He was like that lion. He blaming things on, it's my training. That's why I'm a monster. Follow me. Okay, so we have the next one is, Casey was hand in hand with the enemy. Right? Wishing for a good decision. Getting to his house, thinking he getting in the house, and he feeling good about that. Wishing for a good decision. I'm going in the house. I made it home, and then all the time, it ain't happened like that. Here came the enemy. Because we have how to control things in the best way the officer could do was to have structure. And he didn't have structure. Unfortunately, something didn't smell right. Okay? Because the officer wanted to feel it. He wanted to feel it. It was fun for him chasing him down. It was fun for him pulling his trigger. That was fun for him. He a monster. Remember, the card says he was trained. If it wasn't his parents, he was trained. It's in his genetics to be a monster. And God trying to change him around and incorporate love in this person. That's presenting himself as a pastor. And a pastor goes with a God person. Follow me? God says he's a God person. God want him to change up. So we have right here, because God says he's hateful. So we have right here, he likes style. Well, Casey likes style. Casey didn't want any smoke with this officer because it was pros and cons. Get what I just said. Casey didn't want any smoke with this officer, this deputy, right? I'm so used to saying officer. He didn't want no smoke. Because it's pros and cons. Casey wasn't trying to cause no trouble with this man. If he knew who he was, he would have complied. Period. But the officer wanted smoke. He wanted to see the smoke. Because she shot him 5 times. He was chilling in the house after he shot him. Or he was chilling before he ran behind him. Trying to figure out how he gonna work it out, or what he gonna do when he get up on him or whatever, or after he shot him. He was inside chilling, trying to figure out what story he gonna tell or whatever was going on here. So we have right here that he spoke some words, sharp words to Casey, and it probably was at the door, unless he met him before or saw him at the subway and said something at the subway. Some kind of way, before he even got to the door, before you even seen that highway picture, he might have saw him at the subway already. Because he probably had the subs in his car already when he was being chased, so he might have saw him at the subway already. Or some kind of other time. That might not be the first time he saw him, because some kind of way, some talking. Or this could just simply be at the door. He's saying whatever he's saying, sharp words, but Casey can't even hear him. He was gonna go. He was a go-getter, the deputy, and he was gonna go get him. Whatever day it was, I don't know what day it was. Follow me? He need to work hard on falling back in love with himself because he don't love himself. When you can murder somebody, you don't love yourself. He pinpointed it, what he felt was a problem, and he complained about it. Or he was going to go catch up to Casey and complain about it. Or he told his fellow officers or whoever, right? His boss or whoever he was talking to. No matter his climb, he needed to keep God front and center. This card said he needed to keep God front and center, right? But he didn't keep God front and center. No matter his climb up on the mountain to be whoever he felt he was, a deputy or whatever he felt he was, or in the army, whatever he felt he was, he needed to keep God front and center. He didn't keep God front and center. So we have right here that he wasn't going to be talked down to because he showed his emotions. So right there with that card, I feel like he wasn't going to get talked down to because he showed his emotions. Simply is he was saying whatever he was saying, and he was getting emotional with it because he wasn't getting the response he wanted. So he wasn't going to be talked down to. But I don't know. Like I said, enable for Casey to do any talking to him. I doubt if he is at the door talking to this man. Because if he was talking, he would have just turned around and came on out of the screen door and actually did talking. And it wouldn't even have turned out like that. So some kind of way I feel he was talking to him already. He met him already, talked already, fussed already or something before they even got on the road. How was he going to fuss with the cops and then go on in the house and think it's going to be fine? Nah. Don't let what he seek ruin his life. You can't find it. So this for the officer. Don't let what he seek ruin his life because he's trying to be the best. Follow me? So we have right here number 6. Could be 6 or whatever. I don't know. Could have been 6 o'clock. I don't know. I am simply a follower or a true believer in the faith. Because God says you're a true believer in the faith you follow. You're just following it. You don't believe it. Religion and its effects that are left on you. It was seed time for you. And that was a sure thing. And that was to take him in. Okay, you justified that was right. Lately in the courts too, evidently, because it was a mistrial. I just think I saw it on the videos on YouTube. You had deep feelings inside that you feel was justified that you shoot him in the back. Well, he had deep feelings. You rose to the occasion given to you. You was gonna beat him at his own game. So you're gonna shoot him before he can grab his gun. Look what the card's saying. You decide to beat him at his own game. You rose to the occasion to beat him at his own game. That means you grabbed the gun. You shot him before he even can grab a gun. When you beat somebody at their own game, you do it first. He didn't grab any gun at that door. You was energy seeking, and you was seeing it for what it is, because you didn't love black. Look what God's saying right here. I usually don't do that with certain ones. It stands out because you had a racial problem too. Look at the top part. I'm gonna have to take it with your storyline. If you love black, but you don't love black, follow me? You was gonna see it for what it is because you didn't love black. Get what I'm saying? You was gonna see it for what it is. You didn't love black, right? Because you was energy seeking. So we have right here that God says right here, did what Casey did, whatever he did, want what you did to him. Get what God's saying to you, sir. God's saying you got to get on your path. And your path is jail. Your path is jail. So it got to be another trial. If it's 5 of them, you got to get on your path. Your path is jail, sir. That's your path. Because God gave you ample time to get on your path. And you still not on your path. As of today, you still not on your path. Get on your path. So your path is jail because of what you did to Casey. That's the path God wants you to have so you can learn how to love others right now. You demanded respect and you weren't going to step off of your throne because you felt you was the deputy, you was in charge, you was this, you was that or whatever, and you demanded respect. But if he didn't hear you, he didn't hear you, right? Because God said, do I want you murdering him because he didn't hear you? It was some choice words. And you felt some defeat. Or he felt some defeat. Or he had some defeat because you were saying what you were saying and he might didn't hear you. And it was defeat for him because he couldn't even defend himself for anything. So we got nighttime. So something happened at night. So some kind of way you might have saw him before, some kind of way before this even happened, because this is a night card, choice words. You might have saw him before and it might have been a fuss or he ain't obey or whatever, anything like that. I don't know what time of the day this was. I don't know if it was in the middle of the morning. I don't know what it was. God said this is a night card though. Let's flow. You need more vitamin C, or he needed it. What business is it of you all? So you might have saw him at night some kind of way. And it was some choice words. And he might have said, what business? So you might just didn't see him the first time right there. You might have saw him before. Anything like that. Either you a Leo, he a Leo. You sprung into your life mission like a Leo. And a Leo is like the lion. That's a fire sign. That's the lion. And we talking about lions because you act just like a lion. So you might have saw him another time besides that time there. And you sprung into your life mission and you act like the lion. That would be the deputy you are. Right? Or he might have been springing into his life mission, whatever he wanted to do in his life. He had to start. Something might have happened on a Saturday. So he might have been out at night. You ran into him. You and whoever else asked him questions. And he wondered, well, what business is it of yours? Or you might have said something to him. Before we saw the road picture, as far as the road footage, you might have saw him some kind of way at the subway. And asked him questions. He might didn't know nothing about you as a cop because nothing was showing to let him know you was one. So he might have said, what business is it of yours? Because you look like just a plain clothes person. Anything like that. Or you might have saw him another day that wasn't that day or whatever. You're just trying to pan out the court life. Maybe catching up with him or something like that. Well, he is panning out the court life for how long he's going to be at the dentist, maybe, or how long it's going to get home, time it's going to be to get home. He was souping up things for a speedy recovery, so he might have been feeling a certain kind of way. He might have went to the dentist, and this could be his dentist stuff, or this could be you. He was going to get a speedy recovery. How long I'm going to be at the doctor's, at the dentist before going to Subway and buying Subway, souping it up for a speedy recovery. He might have went on a Saturday. Don't have to be a Saturday. I'm just trying to work the cards. Let's flow. Either he had a blank look on his face or you. So what? What's next? Tearing another person down. So some kind of way you was tearing him down. Either in front of his house or if not in front of his house, some kind of way you saw him before. You threatened him, try me if you dare. So you ain't say try me if you dare, but you said something that's a threat toward him. We got to eating, so he ain't have to be eating, or you didn't have to be eating, but he did have food. He had Subway food with him. You claim he was a threat to you, right? At the door. So at the door, you might have been saying all kind of stuff to him, or somewhere else. Another day that you ran into him some kind of way, or at the subway station, because some kind of talking happened. You said that when I look at the footage with the trial, you said that you didn't even say anything to him or something. But the card's saying that some kind of talking happened. So we have a resource that would be the trial, the courts. This really ain't the court card. I'm just going to say this your job, maybe. It could be the courts, but usually that don't serve as the court. Or Casey was dealing with some resource place, and it was the dentist's office or anything like that. If not, him in the dentist's office. Maybe at the subway, where you got subway. The resources is things we need. So if he went to get something to eat, it's things he needed. So let's just flow. You need to get ready to be in charge of your life and move fast on what was calling you forward to take charge of your life in a positive way, though, because you're an earth angel person. So let me just turn it this way. Yours getting ready to take charge of your life and be in control and be like that lion. And you move fast on it. Because you saw what was calling you forward, and that was for you to go chase behind Casey because you claim he had a gun pointing at you, or whatever you said, waving a gun. You wanted to clarify that and tell everybody, well, he had a gun, waving, and you looked at choosing you first was the best choice, but also you was clarifying at the door that you was going to choose you first was the best choice. But you followed him to wherever he lived at. You went pursuing and following him and caused chaos. He didn't cause chaos to you, because if he was a person who really was a person who was a real criminal and all kind of stuff, he would have been shooting on the road. Or he would have got to the house and it would have been some shooting on the road, and he would have been laying outside his door, not in his door. He wouldn't have been inside his door. He would have been outside his door, because you would have did some shooting and he would have been outside on the ground. Why won't you say no to being molded? Because you was molded by your precinct. You was molded because you went in the army, so you molded, you trained. That's what molded mean. Your station, all of them mold you. To be a teacher, you molded. Whatever it is, you molded, because any kind of training, we molded. Get what I'm saying? God said your thoughts count. You should have used your own thoughts some kind of way, but you was molded. Well, I got to do this. You didn't use your common sense, your own sense that God gave you. Well, no, I shouldn't pull out my rifle because the man going in his house, because I saw him waving a gun on the road. I'm just going to go and just shoot him down because he is waving a gun inside his car, and he ain't do anything to me. You need to use your common sense, and you ain't use it. Right here, you dealing with your work ethics. We talking about work ethics. So you was howling, maybe, like you said, giving commands at the door, but I feel he didn't hear you. Because ain't no way he wouldn't have turned around if he heard you. Because he was a law-abiding citizen. So he would have turned around. He didn't hear you. The next one is this one. Now this card right here. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the card right here that I was trying to work this card. I was trying to work this card yesterday because I don't know you and I don't know him. But then we got this card coming next in the back here. We got cards right here that I don't really know what happened to you when you was young. God know though. So this could have happened to you when you was young, or it could have happened to him. One of you. Because this is you and Casey's storyline. Nobody, whoops. Different people going to come in it, but this is mainly you two. Because you murdered this young man. So, Casey terrified on the road trying to get away from you, right? But if you was young and something happened to you when you was a young person, follow me? I ain't even gonna go into no details, right? Something could have happened to you as a young person, follow me? That might have made you decide you want to go in the army or be a cop or whatever, right? Because people do things for different reasons. Not because they truly want to be. They do things because of certain things happen to them. Get what I'm saying? You could have thought Casey was a criminal. Right? So we had education, jobs, and equalness. It need to be fairness, equalness, fairness. You might didn't have fair at your job. But Casey's family want fairness as far as this case. So we got food again. So we dealing with food. We got back to back the food right here. Both of these is the food. So we have the gender presence card is a gay card and a getting married card. That's what it is. That's what it stands for. So it came up in the storyline. So we got somebody who gay, or we got somebody who getting married, and that's what the card means. So I can't change that card around. I can change all the other cards. I can't. Well, some of the cards, some of them I can't. They what they are. This card here stands for gay, and it stands for getting married. Which, whatever one it go with, right? For all eyes to see, somebody was gonna let somebody know, or let everybody know, or let their family know, or whatever this is, that somebody gay or somebody was getting married. And take it however you want to take it with that, okay? That's what that card means. So we have, it is okay to let him or her go. This person gonna always know you cared about this person. So you lost yourself, but no more. So I don't know if the deputy Meade had problems with his wife or something like this, and they broke up, or they had problems or something. Or Casey had problems with somebody that he was talking to. Or I usually don't put it with the family. I can even put it with the family, where if they got depressed real bad or something like that, and they lost themselves, but they had to get back on track. I can put it over there, but I'm gonna leave it over here for a minute. Either he was biracial or just black in general. Follow me. So let's just flow for a minute. So we have right here, take off every layer. So to take off every layer is a card when somebody actually wants you to undress. But then we got a guard side to it. Follow me? So we have right here that someone is a money machine. So either the cop, the detective, I keep saying detective. I'm so used to saying officer, though. The deputy is a money machine. Or Casey was a money machine. Somebody had a lot of money. Or we're just dealing with a boss some kind of way. Okay, so we have Casey or the officer was going to say to the other, straighten the person out. Let them have it. Whatever God wants you to say as far as straightening a person out when they talking out of hand or anything like that. Either, okay, Casey was single, the officer was single, somebody was single right here, or Casey just was alone with nobody around him that made him alone, single, or he was a single person, or the officer was alone or single, however it's flowing. Casey was biracial, or maybe considered biracial, because we got the biracial card. So we got somebody, the officer, the deputy, like the grandstand, and it wasn't kosher. So we have right here that he is working hard on trying to fix something, the officer. Or we can take this as Casey. Casey might have been paying for the food, and he's working hard on trying to figure it out and get the money together at the counter to pay for the food. It says charge up to the account, the cash register. We can take it a whole nother way. This really a bank account card, but I can take it with the cash register. The people adding up the food. Get what I'm saying? Charges being charged to the account, and pretty much just I'm adding up the food, anything like that. So we're gonna take it to the deputy, because this is a deputy card, a white person card, or a leader card, whatever the race, right? So we have that. He don't have to have blue eyes or anything like that. So we have, he was a policeman, right? So he either felt like Casey was somebody who was a robber, or somebody who was a criminal, or he wanted to pat Casey down, anything like that. Or he felt Casey robbed him or something, but if he don't know him, how could he rob him or anything? Rob him of making him chase him, I don't know. I feel like he saw him at the subway station. I feel he saw him some kind of way before. It don't feel like he just saw him on the road and then he went to his house and shot him. It seemed like he saw him before. He beat me so much. So it says right here, he beat me so much could simply mean that he feel like somebody got beat intellectually, financially, emotionally, however, physically, while somebody was holding on to love. So we got the officer felt like he was beat while holding on to love, maybe at his job. It can't be his job. It got to be, I feel it got to be maybe in driving. Maybe he lost Casey some kind of way in driving, or in words, or whatever this is, or something at his job, or whatever this is. So if I turn it around to Casey, Casey was holding on to love, holding on to his life, and the officer beat him so much. And that means with Casey, the officer shot him so much. Okay, so we have right here, he's going to make a gesture, right? God is the path I'm walking, the right one. This will be the officer following Casey. But I got to change it around, because he didn't ask God anything. He eliminated God in all of his endeavors that day. He pushed God to the side. He's supposed to ask God, God, is this, am I walking the right one? The right path right here, going following Casey. He didn't do that. He didn't ask God. He didn't care nothing about what God thought. He didn't even make a gesture to God. God said he committed a senseless act. God been saying it all throughout that he wrong. God saying it. And he was going to go to jail, and he did go to jail, but he going to go back to jail because God said he committed a senseless act. He was going to spectate, and he was going to challenge Casey. So he had empty thoughts while time was going by. Maybe sitting in his car some kind of way, just sitting somewhere, and he decided he going to follow Casey or whatever from a distance. It was an honorable time, date set to follow Casey, or for court or whatever this is, or for Casey just to go to the dentist's office or whatever this is. He looking at Casey is Casey his good fortune, somebody he can take to jail, somebody he can write a ticket for, whatever he wanted. Are you my good fortune, Casey? He wanted Casey to yield for a second. Follow me. So we have the car coming behind it. This is a bad car, but this is the police car in this storyline. It's not a Cadillac. This is just an example. This card stands for a bad car. Everybody in it is bad. So pretty much the car that was following Casey, cops was in, but he didn't know cops was in it. That mean the person, whoever inside, don't mean you no good, right? We have the detective wanted to get Sky High, get Sky High expressing everything in it, and that is to just get further up in his department or what was going on with him, or just be the best or whatever. But Casey wanted to get Sky High also. and express everything needed in his life. Because Mr. Meade, let me just try to say that then maybe it'll be a little bit easier. I keep on saying officer and everybody else. Question Casey's ability to even be a star, to be anything in life, to be anybody in life, to be a doctor, to be a dentist, to be a lawyer, to be a cop, to be anything. He questioned his ability. That meant he felt he wasn't worthy. Get my drift? Or he is questioning his own self as far as his job. Follow me? He needed to love himself. Mr. Meade. But right then, Casey needed love, not abuse. And he got abuse. Because right then, Casey needed to be in the presence of God and have God's bubble of protection around Casey at that time. Because he was dealing with the counselor, and that would be Mr. Meade at the time, the advisor. Right? So be it. So gradually a court date was coming up. And a court date did come up. Follow me? Because the trial just, it looked like it was 2 weeks ago or whenever it's saying on YouTube. Or some kind of way he talked to him before. Mr. Meade was in, had stuff going on with him, drowning in a sea of films he couldn't recover from, because I think he had marriage problems or he's taking something, or what was going on with him. Something was wrong with him. Something could help him downtown, God says. But also for Casey's family, at the time this happened, they could go to some kind of bereavement or anything that could help them. Follow me? During that time, things was going in slow motion for Casey. His eyes was watery. Follow me? For his family, things was going in slow motion and their eyes was watery. But God says something's on the cell phone of Casey's and his officers. If not either one of theirs, on some kind of cameras, on the poles, I don't know how it is in Columbus, on the poles, on the stores, on subway parking lot, on the stores, or wherever it is. Some kind of footage that can help in this case. I say that can help in the case of Casey. Pictures, texts, videos, on a cell phone. God saying the cell phone, but I can use it for cameras too. But it could be the cell phone. Because Casey might have met this officer before. Night before, week before, might have been a clash between them. Anything like that, because the card says he was vengeful. Vengeful mean you mad with somebody about something. Just because somebody, yeah, so let's just flow. He put Casey through torment, and he hyped it up because he shot him 5 times. So we have right here, oh shoot, we have right here that he's outside and he was mad. Kicking dynamite, he was mad. Get what I'm saying? So we have right here, he went somewhere and it was danger below, or he made danger come below, or he felt like danger was below, but really this is danger below, danger lurking. Follow me? It came right behind that. But I can say that Casey went somewhere and then it was danger below. He didn't know danger was coming because he went to his house and he didn't know danger was going to be there afterwards, or he went to the subway and then danger came. However it's flowing. So he had somebody mad with him, like he really actually did something to the person. Physically did something to the person. Like I said, if he ain't met him before, no kind of way he shouldn't be that upset with him to shoot him 5 times. That's personal. He worked hard on it. On whatever day of the week. It don't have to be these days. Casey, as far as like work, or getting to the dentist, or going to subway, or trying to drive home, or anything like that, or having this job in general, or the officer. I mean, Mr. Meade. National. We got 14, 41, 14. Number 1, number 4, number 5. Okay. Could be part of anything. Badge number, license. anything. Social, phone number, it could be part of anything. Court date, anything it could be a part of. Follow me? It was detention time away. Casey was trying to hit detention time away to get away from some car that was following him, or just was detention time away because the cop might have went to jail a little bit, or what was going on. Okay, if he met him straight, see, we got a lot of cards like that. If you met him straight, you're not obligated to take the person back gay. So some kind of way, I feel he met Casey before. So if it's not the real gay, I'm going to turn it around. Okay? If Casey met him being real mean to him or whatever, I mean real nice to him or whatever, he wasn't obligated to take him back being mean and cruel to him. I can change it around if it's not the real meaning. Follow me? It's like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Get what I'm saying, right? Because he might have met him before. It's appearing like he don't even know him and never met him, but it seems personal. I'm not tolerating you. So he felt like he's not tolerating Casey at the door for whatever reasons. Like you'll think he actually did something to him. He really ain't did anything to this man. Period. He didn't. He really didn't. Pointing a gun, I just don't feel he did. But if he actually did point a gun at him in the car any kind of way, he would have to be beside him and they would have pointed at him, right? They got to be side by side, the cars, and they were somebody to point. But I don't think he said he pointed any gun at him on the road no kind of way because he was in front of him. And at the door, he definitely didn't point a gun because he was inside the screen door. And he's just trying to get in the house. He felt he not tolerating him for whatever reason. It seems personal. It's personal. Casey was in affordable living. He was living with his grandmother. That was affordable for him. So we have, he wanted to walk all over Casey. And they was walking all over the top of Casey after he was shot and all this, walking this way and that way. They wasn't caring about saving him. So we have right here that there's gathering up information about him. So they was like trying to do different things as far as his home. Wait a minute. Let me pause for a minute. Sorry about that. I had to talk for a minute. So let's see. Where was we at? Oh, yeah. There's gathering up all kind of information, whatever it is, out of his house or whatever they was doing. Anything about him. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's just go. Shoot. If God let these videos go up, that let me know everything. The cards, all the cards that God gave me is the right cards. If God don't let it go up, that means it's a card wrong or a couple cards wrong, and God want me to just concentrate and let God give me more cards. So let's just flow here. He wanted to control and use his muscle against Casey. He was an idiot, God says, and he was with a network of idiots. Follow me. Okay? Deep. So we have right here that Casey wanted sensitivity and tenderness. Okay, so this is another God card. This is for Mr. Meade. This is your card. Come on and go to that training or class that will put you in your place. God wanted you to go to wherever God wants you to go to change you up from being violent, from being devilish, from being destructive. Get what I'm saying? You needed some kind of training to make you a kind, a loving person. God will help you, but you must learn to listen to God, and you ain't listening to God. Because it's like you half man and half lion, because the lion part is the destructive part and the man part is You trying to be a pastor or whatever's going on. Either you was eating something, meat with sauce on it, or Casey, something he had in the bag could have had meat with sauce on it or whatever. I don't know. Okay, God says working with children would be your path and you would be good with working with children. And you got to have love to work with kids. Okay? You was making arrangements to get out of that camp. That means wherever you was, you made arrangements to get from where you was to go follow Casey. But Casey was making arrangements to get out of that camp. He is getting out of the dentist's office, subway, or whatever, and then when he noticed somebody was following him, or you approached him in the parking lot, or whatever it must have been, however this flowing, he was trying to ride fast to get away. Because he wouldn't have a reason to be trying to ride fast in case some kind of way he felt somebody was coming messing with him. As far as he concerned, he don't know who you was. You was just some white man or white men in a truck that looked like you was trouble, or said something to him or whatever, and he was just trying to go home. Anybody would feel a certain kind of way if somebody following them or whatever's going on here. Okay? He had to look you straight in the eye, eye-to-eye contact, no biting his tongue, and say what he had to say to you. Okay, so it says right here that knowing all money is green. This a bad card. This a bad way of making money, so some kind of way. You was knowing all money is green, but with your with you is like you was trying to. You didn't care if he did anything or not. You was gonna take him in. You didn't care if you had to kill him. You was gonna get something that showed that you did your job to get your paycheck. Let's just flow a little bit. Well, you looked at him as a criminal. You was gonna be the chairperson of your own life and going head first, and you did just that. You went in head first. Okay, why do you allow other people to mold you, God says? From religion to your job. Follow me? Rules. Because you followed the rules and you murdered Casey. Being free to make your own choice, God says, to use your own common sense here. And know that you should have not went guns blazing and shot him in his back and murdered him like that. You need to take control in your own mind. You ain't had control in your own mind. Everything was what somebody told you. God gave everybody a mind of their own. You felt no way. He ain't getting away. No way. Something went to the extreme right here. God said it. So here we have Casey right here. He got his door open. And I feel it came all the way open when his body fell into it. But I feel he got his door open. And it was like the peephole was like probably this much of the door, how much of the door came open. So it's like he had like a peephole that he could see inside his house somewhat. Because he was trying to get to his angel. And his angel was his grandma at the time in that house. Trying to get into his angel. So we have right here. You was going to be strong, handsome, and know when to make the right moves, and you did just that. But he was going to be strong, handsome, and strong, and know when to make the right moves, and he got away. He rode faster because he saw somebody was following him. He tried to get out of his car to just go straight to just get in his house. Okay, let me see this card. If it hurts. Okay, if it hurts, you was going to voice it and express it. So you was expressing it. You don't like the idea that you say a gun was pointed at you and you mad about that. So you was going to voice it. So you might have gave commands or whatever you did. He didn't hear you though. Because ain't no way somebody going to go out the way and buy a gun and get a gun and follow the law that way and don't follow the law right there. And bring trouble to their house like that. Nah. You was hooking notes. about his so-called friends, anybody that he knew some kind of way. So I'm going to say his so-called friends would be his family members. He was hooking notes, talking to his family, get my direct, you and whoever, because they live there. So it says right here, he was nervous around a pyramid of people. Not you, he was. So I feel some kind of way he saw you somewhere. Unless you was in a car, at least 3 of you in the car or standing around or wherever. Some kind of way he saw you somewhere. He is an arrow living that was unique. So we have that abuse shows that it was fake love, fake care for the citizens because you didn't care nothing about his life. You mowed them down. We got number 15 and we got number 15 that equals 30. Okay. So we have, here we go again with it. You see it clear as possible. You saw something clear as possible, something that repeated, or he saw something clear as possible that repeated, whatever it might have been. Him seeing you again and you approaching him again, or whatever it might have been. I don't know. You was wondering if you could trust him, maybe because he might have saw you somewhere or anything like that. Or he could take out a lawsuit or whatever this is, if it could go in his direction. You was wondering if you can trust him. But God told you don't hurt nobody. But you did. You did the opposite. You don't do nothing God tell you to do. Okay, we got number 1. Daily life made people rethink and think of things they had forgotten and need to change and seek. Because you got beat. You felt like you got beat. Some kind of way maybe where he didn't hear you, so you looked at that as he was disobeying, he was disrespecting, so you felt like you got beat. Or something at your department you got beat, or something didn't go your way, or at home, whatever this is. But Casey got beat because you murdered him. In the back of your mind. That's where God was, not in the forefront. You are European. This card usually, it's fitting right now because that's what you are right here. You was going to seek justice for sure against Casey. God was far in the back of your mind. Far back there. You wasn't letting God get in the front to control you, to make you be a good person, a better person, a kind person, a loving person. You wanted justice for sure. But the family want justice for sure against you. The detective, I just want Mr. Meade. You try to insult Casey's intelligence or the family's intelligence. Okay. Casey shouldn't believe in your words. But this your card though. You shouldn't believe in man's word, but put your all in God. So with this card, God's saying that you shouldn't believe in man's word, but believe in what God tell you. So you push God all the way in the back, and you ain't follow nothing God told you. You follow what your boss told you, whoever trained you. So you just push God out the way. Get what it's saying? You needed to have structure for a joyous occasion where you can handle this and it turn out the right way. The right way. The right way. But we have Casey wanted structure so he can have a joyous occasion and they go in the house and just eat. He is looking at the positives as far as having a joyous occasion. Maybe you was looking at that he might have a checkered past, or you got a checkered past, or he knew something that made you have a checkered past, or something like that, and you didn't know if you could trust him because he might have saw you before, or whatever this is, right? But we got the life card because God had to keep coming at you hard. Because what is life to you? Hear God talking to you. Mr. Meade, what is life to you? What is it to you? Because you didn't value life at all. You didn't listen to God or nothing. You're just going to spell it out and expect nothing less than the best. You're going to tell him whatever you said at the door, whatever you said, and you expected nothing less than the best. And if he ain't respond like you wanted, you just went in like that lion, guns blazing. Or you said something to him other than there in front of that door some kind of way, and he spelt it out to you. And you needed to expect nothing less than the best, or you didn't like what he said, or whatever it is, right? So we have right here that you're a wonderful conqueror, or you're going to be a wonderful conqueror. But he is dealing with a Judas. So with this card, I'm going to look at you supposed to be law enforcement. So in a way with citizens, law enforcement, you supposed to kind of connect if you people who not criminals. Supposed to connect pretty good. We can talk to each other. But you was a Judas. So you might have saw him before. They keep on making it seem like you might have saw him before. That ain't the first time you saw him, the first time you talked to him, anything like that. It feel like that because it's saying you're a Judas. And usually if you look in the Bible, the Judas goes with somebody who's dealing with somebody and they do something behind their back. A Judas, God saying it. You looked at him as tending sissified, or you treated him that way. He clapped back at you, seemed like here, where he said he was done. Or you clapped back by saying something to him and you felt like you was done. He wasn't listening or whatever it is. And you decided to make the move you made to shoot him. Something was plain and simple. You was covering all your bases on what you was doing every step of the way. When you turned the car around to everything else. He needed a Jesus miracle. Because wasn't no way he was going to get out of this. Not with your mindset. This is the Jesus miracle, walking on water card. That means it was impossible for him to survive with you in that yard or wherever you were standing at, because you had it in for him. You didn't want him to survive. That was intentional. It was intentional. Hold on to the thought, everybody that's watching. Fear took him there. Because that's what he say, fear, right? Fear took him there. I got my gun cards, but none of them seem to be coming out. So I don't see the gun cards. Now you see the fear card, right? I should have a gun card should have came out in all these cards so far, and none came out. So I feel Casey didn't have no gun on him at that door. I feel like he was afraid what Casey would tell. From a lawsuit to getting him fired to something Casey heard him say to him or saw. That's what I think. But you don't have to go off what I think. Okay? You don't have to believe none of the cards. Remember, all of the cards come from God. And all the readings come from God. You don't have to take nothing as fact that hit the table. Or nothing I said. Okay? But I believe it. Okay? God said that fear took this person there, Mr. Meade, to shoot and murder Casey. Hold on to that thought. Because he told everybody that he is fearful for his life. Remember? I don't see no gun card came out so far. And I got gun cards. And none came out. He wasn't going to postpone an active action. And that was to murder Casey. It was intentional right here. He's going to cover all his bases, God says right there. Casey wasn't going to postpone an active action, and that is just go in his house. This is the Earth Angel card, because Mr. Meade is an Earth Angel. God trying to get this person to love and not be destructive. Get my drift? He refused. He's still not coming God's way, though. Refused to stay in a puddle because it would keep him wet. A puddle keep him wet, keep him damp, keep him not being able to grow like God wanted him to grow into a loving person. Universe is driven to guide you to your path, but will you go? And he wasn't going. He still wasn't trying to go. At that time, he definitely wasn't, because he murdered this young man. He looked at Casey as easy, and he was a lone wolf. He was all by himself, and he looked at him as easy. He can just do that to him or he said something to him some kind of way, and he felt he can get away with it. And maybe Casey said something back to him. Not that time, but another time. Because he could have talked to him at the subway. Do you have any footage from the subway cameras from back then? Inside the subway while he was there, outside of the store, any kind of way like that? Or even weeks before anything? He acting goofy. He need to cleanse his mind though. Because he's slipping through, going through, whichever way, slipping through the roads, gliding this way, that way, making turns, whatever he was doing. To get to Casey, loosely, he was moving. Because he worked hard on showing that he didn't care nothing about Casey. These are light green, you can't see them. Okay, let's just fly. I hear orchestrated. I hear the word orchestrated. Orchestrated. I'm trying to say it right. I'm hearing orchestrated. Or I'm saying something was orchestrated. Okay, orchestrated. Take it however you want to take it with that. I wish I can. Let's see. Universe, you know all about it. Next card is right here that the police pretty much as far as because he wasn't a friend of his. He wasn't a friend of his. He wasn't a spouse. He wasn't a friend of his. So the police is they not a friend of yours, but in a way they supposed to be like somewhat a partner, a help or whatever, I guess. When you lose somebody, I mean, because this is a spouse card, so I'm trying to work this card to go where he wasn't his friend. When you lose somebody, heal yourself. This card right here make it seem like he know who he is. This card is for somebody who know somebody. Get my drift? So to work this a whole nother way, where you can look at the police as your friend, right? So I could take it that way. Let me see. No, but he wasn't looking at Casey as his friend. He murdered him. I don't know how to take this with him because he didn't care nothing about Casey. He murdered him. So let me just take it with his family then. I got to take this another way. When you lose a relative, I got to take it a whole nother way. Heal yourself by coming forward because it's not going to work with saying it that way. Dealing with something judicious, had deep feelings, Casey or this officer. Around me. So we have right here, whose blank is this? Something somewhere had no business being. So we got, this card goes with glass doors, glass in your car, something in your glass period, something by your glass, something in a windowsill, anything that's glass. So something was somewhere had no business being. This officer was, whatever it was, something was somewhere had no business being. So we take it where the Mr. Meade said that he saw Casey with a gun, for instance, moving a gun in his hand. If that actually was accurate, it could go with what you just heard me say, something somewhere had no business being. And you heard me say glass, and I said car glass, right? But really, with the car glass, it usually be where it's sitting up there. You know where the actual window at. But if he is moving it, still, if he saw him, right, still, he felt like it had no business being in his hand. Right? So this card could be accurate with that. Or it just was sitting up in the, up there. It could have been just sitting up there where the glass was, because God says that, right? So no more time for lack. Mr. Meade felt like he wasn't going to have no time for lack because he felt like he had to do something about that because he wanted to win. Or he had some personal problems going on because he was living a plantation where living, or Casey was, or both of them was, right? Life was falling apart. I don't feel like for Casey, because I don't feel it's Casey. I feel like this Mr. Meade, life was falling apart for him some kind of way, and it's like something wasn't wasn't flowing good at that time. Love, money, housing, clothing, or food. Something was off for him. But God is saying to Mr. Meade, life was about experience. You experience any and everything in life. Life is not about wasting of life, taking somebody's life away, Mr. Meade. Okay? On a Thursday, you want to get a message, or you did some kind of way. So you wanted a recovery for a brighter future. Right? Well, you're seeing a brighter future for yourself. But God said you got to live the best life by getting healed, because you need to get healed if you think this is okay what you done. But this can go with the family. You got to live the best life by getting healed, family, for recovery for a brighter future. So we're going to take this to Casey. Casey was aching and it varied from you. Right here, God says you need to apologize. Say it to Casey, because he in the spirit, and then say it to his family. Even though you meant to do what you meant to do, apologize anyway. Because you felt restricted. You felt you had no way out, or you felt you were restricted. That means you was taught to shoot if you feel somebody is a threat or whatever you keep saying. So you felt you had no way out. You was restricted. You felt you had to do it. Or Casey knew something, saw you somewhere, or knew something, and you didn't want him telling, or you didn't want a lawsuit or anything like that. Because I got to stretch this, okay? However the card goes. Okay, you had to acknowledge your wrongs and don't expect it from other people. But Casey had to acknowledge his wrongs and don't expect it from other people, and accept what he couldn't change in his life, or you needed to accept what you couldn't change. You was being fearless, and you went in like the lion, like I told you. Lions don't be afraid. They just go right in and they charge in, and you went straight for him like a lion. But God says right here that you needed to ask God to speak to you, to lead you to your way. But you didn't ask God for help, because remember, you acting like that lion. You don't want no help. You don't feel you need no help from God. Okay? So we have right here that Casey wanted Casey's freedom from a fortress. And at this time, this is light green. The fortress was his car. Get my drift. And he wanted to get out of his car after a while and just go home. You wanted your freedom from a fortress, and your fortress probably is something you're going through in your personal life, whatever it is. Or you felt Casey knew something, saw something, or whatever, and you wanted to be free from having to worry about it, whatever this is. I got to change it around. So shortly, you was going to another city, state, county, area, or wherever you went in. Follow me? To follow Casey, or maybe to go to jail. I don't know. Let's flow. Because you in your dream house, or whatever you call a dream house. Or Casey was in his house or whatever. Wherever he was going at, and you went to wherever he lived, or however God's saying with this card. But God said you going to jail. You might have went to jail some kind of way. But you going to jail. This is you actually going to go to jail. Go to jail for some kind of time with this card. So it says right here, something was extraordinary for Casey. And he returned it back to the sender. You might have said something. You might have saw him somewhere before, whatever. But something was extraordinary to you. If you're saying that you saw him with a gun in his car, just moving his hands. It's like if I take my hand, if I'm listening to music and something, I don't even have to have earplugs in or anything. I can be listening to music or singing music and shaking my hand. I could have one of these lions in my hand. I could have one of these lions and be shaking my hand. He could have, if he actually had his gun in his hand, he could have had his gun singing a song. Some kind of song. But you felt you was going to return it back to the sender. You was going to, you saw something extraordinary. You saw him shaking the gun, if you saying, and you decided you're going to return it back to the sender. You going after him. But you could have said something to him, wherever you saw him at, other than in front of his house. And he said something back to you. It was tension. You was going to continue to enjoy your life and be happy again. You felt like It was tension. But you was just going to go on about your business after you did what you did. But it was tension for the family. But God want the family to enjoy the life that God continues to give them and be happy again. But something was canceled 2 times. It could be the trial. Or it could have been you going to jail. Or, let me see. Or you might have saw him before some kind of way. Or he saw you before some kind of way. Or whatever this is. Something was canceled 2 times. You or him. But both, it is the engagement of the 2 people, though. Get what I'm saying? But time counted to you or to him as far as the situation. Maybe he canceled his dentist appointment, but time counted to him. Maybe you was going somewhere that day and something was canceled, whatever it is. Or you saw him more than one time and you decided you're going to go after him and get him this time. Or arrest him or whatever. I don't know what it is, right? With that, you chose and you chanced it, though. Or he chose and chanced it and went to the dentist, right? You never felt like this before, some kind of way, as far as something you did. Follow me? Something you did or something you said. Okay? I feel that's confirmation. Something you did or something you said. You're just going to stop being afraid of your feelings. Scared of your feelings. Follow me? Something you said or something you did. Okay? So we have right here, if it's Casey, he's going to stop being afraid of his feelings. Because he never felt like this before. It could have been something at the dentist. Or he met somebody or whatever this is. I don't know. Or this could just be him driving and he never felt like this before. Him, somebody in back of him chasing him down. It's a kind of feel to it where, yeah, it made him feel uncomfortable. Follow me? Somebody, Aquarius, act like Aquarius, got a son like an Aquarius, got an air sign for a son or anything like that they proud of. So we have right here, it's another God card for you. You existed for a bigger reason than what you even thought. But you didn't care what God had planned for your life. Because you've been fighting God every step of the way. Going off these cards. I'm ready to be guided to my path. This card say I'm ready, but you wasn't ready. This card for you just saying, I'm going to have to turn the card around for you. God, I'm not ready to be guided to my path. Because you had to see that you exist for a bigger reason than what you think or what you decided your life going to be. God said your life's supposed to be a certain way, but you ain't stopped to hear God, to talk to God, to find out that you're not even walking the path God wants you to walk. You barged in with rage toward Casey. So I say Casey saying no way, I'm not or anything. So I got to change that. Because if Casey had on headphones, had things in his ears, any kind of way, he couldn't hear you. So to you, that means he's saying he ain't going to comply. Because you needed Casey to feed you, to do your job, for you to bring in money. Get what I'm saying? You was upset. God keep talking to you about life. Here it is. What's the price of a life, Mr. Meade? You're going to save yourself no matter what. But you the one that went there and caused the chaos. You went and caused the chaos. Any chaos it was. You didn't have to save your life because nobody was after you and messing with you in the first place. You was going to save yourself no matter what. What's the price of a life? So God's saying right here, what's the price of a life? Because you murdered Casey. For whatever reason you murdered Casey for. And God knows what you murdered Casey for. To save yourself no matter what. Casey could have saw something. Casey could have knew something. But one thing for sure, Casey didn't raise no gun at that door with you. Casey didn't raise no gun at that door. God ain't bring out none of my gun cards. And I got 3 of them, I think. So we have right here that you is going to save some money or try to save some money or get some money. Because here we are, you trying to work out something with your wife. Stepping out card, that means you were separated, you had problems, something going on with the wife, talking to somebody else behind your wife back or whatever this card is. This is a stepping out card. Maybe trying to make up with your wife or whatever it was at that time. Okay? So you might have felt like you was a blessing some kind of way at your police station or at church or whatever this is. But somebody don't like you at your church, at your department, the community, or somebody. So we can have right here and turn it around to Casey. Casey was a blessing, but they don't even like me. That means you, your partner, and everybody else that was a part of this. Okay? So we have right here, you had plenty of ideas for your fortune. And with that, I'm going to say that your paycheck you was getting, or your raise, or whatever was going on here. But Casey had plenty of ideas for his fortune, whatever money he's going to make for his work. It was a chamber of chaos, and you created it and made it happen where it was negative. You created negative and made a chamber of chaos. Your soul was crying out for a conclusion to come to this. Casey's right here with this card was driving, and he saw a negative. He felt like it was negative. It was a chamber of chaos, and he was trying to just drive on fast to just get home, because maybe he ran into you cops ahead of time or whenever, some kind of way, whenever it was, the same day before, whenever. His soul was crying out for a conclusion. We got the total community, who all in the neighborhood, or the right here, the family could be crying out for a conclusion, for the jury to come up with the right verdict. This could be the jury or the community or the police station, or you was having problems at the police station, negative or whatever, your own self, and you wanted a conclusion to come toward, or your home or whatever. Picking people in the order of. So you picking people in the order of, off their race, off their gender, or anything like that. You, or at your station or whatever, hiring certain kind of people. Or we got the jury duty, and juries, they got to pick people according to whatever. So we got race, age, and all kind of stuff that goes with these things. It was life altering what you did to Casey. It was going to be life altering for you, because it's going to be done again. It's going to be another trial. Or it's life altering because you did something again in case he saw something or heard something from you. You had hidden feelings that you just wanted to say, or you felt Casey knew something that you didn't want him to say. I can take it all kind of ways. Take it however it goes. Hey, let's go. Let's read this. You know all about it. I don't know if I can. It's on. Well, let's just see. Okay, let me see how much time. Oh, shucks, there's another one. Let me see how much time on here. Let me see how much time on here. How much time? Oh, it went over, I think. So I gotta do another one. I can't tell where I'll go with this.